Buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos noches, mi amigos, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody all around the world. And thank you for joining us today for another Left 4 Dead 2 competitive shoutcast. My name is MK. I'll be your caster and cameraman for today, running with two co-casters here. First, Nine. How you doing, my friend?
I am amped for this matchup for real. Dark Carney Remix has been popping off, and two amazing teams as well.
And then we're here with our last co-caster. It really doesn't need no introduction. Longtime Left 4 Dead admin player. It is Rails Barlow. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing absolutely amazing y estoy feliz
Ooh,
porque estoy aquí. Y es la hora para un juego que es uno de los mejores de ese torneo, creo. That means it's probably one of the best games of the tournament, and I am so excited and happy to be here.
Yeah, it is
oh
a
my
winner
goodness.
bracket semifinals, and the winner does not go. I mean, the loser does not go home. We said this quite a few times so far now, and I'm excited for this because L'Obscurite getting the victory over Colossus last week. The question is, what do you think? Can they get another upset this week?
It is definitely possible. We saw the addition of a rookie to this Lobscurite roster, which has been serving them very well. And then on the other hand, we've kind of seen a shifting around. You can see they're tagged up as Dynasty now rather than Colossus. There's been a pretty big shifting in the roster. They've done well so far, but they haven't been completely tested yet. They've beaten CAS as well as Pinguanos de Madagascar. I would say that L'Obscurite had a much more difficult route to get here by beating Colossus as well as Agartha. And also, Dynasty or Babylonia, whatever we want to call them, no longer running with Snicks, obviously. So that is going to further shift up already a shifting roster.
Yeah, it is actually a little bit between. I think some Sad Boys players are mixed in here with Healy. I do believe Chad plays with them as well. We got Spooky Mla. So they have quite an impressive lineup here. And we're going to see Lobscurite try to battle them down here on Dark Carnival Remix. It expected to go 1 through 5 on this one. And I hope they actually do go to the 5th one now, because the last time we had the luxury of seeing this finale, man, were we on the edge of our seats trying to see who's going to pull up the victory at the end of that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll see if the finale comes out. It's always a question, but we have been shown that a very high scores, or at least a decent enough scores, can be put up, even with as long of a finale as it is.
They're saying kick specs on Survivor side. I don't want that to happen to people who are casting. I don't know if they're going to actually do that or what.
Right,
But
I think they're trying to get the ones out that are not the casters.
Anyone
I think
check?
there's some people in here. If you do status, we can get their ID numbers and just have them vote kick those people. I can't, unfortunately, because I don't want to put the IP up live on stream.
yeah, I feel you. And I mean, for a semifinals match, right? This is one of those things where it's like I see what Enrique is talking about because, one of the reasons why this match has my particular attention too is because these teams are kind of longer term teams, and you want the server to perform as well as it possibly can. It's just like, we have an upset scenario on our hands. It's been a tournament as it's been, and for L'Obscurite, they want to make sure that they have everything in their control and in their power to actually be able to win this game and then win this tournament. Because from what you guys are telling me and from what the audience might know too, it's like, they've been on a long path to actually get here and then pull the upset. If they can actually pull it off against Dynasty slash Babylonia, because that's a name that I remember from way back in the day, then they want to make sure they can do everything possible to actually make that happen.
Absolutely. I will say, as far as our spec spots, we got Montex, Mando, and Anne for the Spanish casters, and us three for the English. So that makes up all the 6 slots. It does look like we are ready to head into the match. They are satisfied with that. But we do have to cancel. So getting right into it, we are going to have an early tank here, 28%. I'm not sure if they're going to get a follow up to this initial hit, which is, of course, going to be the Charger Smoker Hunter Boom. What do we feel the game plan here is for the SIs?
Yeah, the opening attack on Dark Carnival Remix is a little bit different than regular Dark Carnival because the addition of Zone Mod adding the busts here. But if it was regular Dark Carnival without the Zone Mod additions, it's pretty much identical from the beginning, except for the hittable that is there. that is actually not there because the cop car usually would be on normal.
Right.
But here we go. We're just going to start this live. We're going to have a tri-cap with the boom opening hit, no spitter, and we also are going to be not having the jockey on this opening hit. And why don't we have Rails start us off here with this opening shot?
So for this opening hit, we're going to be having the Smoker getting that pull while the Hunter gets speeded. The Charger slides down, actually, and lands onto Bully, too. Now, that was an interesting way for them to stack that damage, but really, this is what we expect here, guys. 12 damage off the first hit. Lobscurite know what they have to do, and I just want to give a shout-out, too, because for some of these players, like I said, they've played for a long time. My eyes, particularly, are on a rookie in this game, just because I know he's been a long-time player. They've been a long-time player, and, you know, with the kind of talent on Survivor side, expecting more shutdowns like that is what I'd say.
Yeah.
Look at this, no, without hesitation. First tank of the game for Dynasty / Babylonia into the hands of Healy, and I'll do roster rundown for the rest of his squad. Chad, Spooky, and Mala, take the rest away for us now.
As a Hunt Spit gets landed onto Lobscurite, their cast is going to be Proud, Aruki, Bully, and Dog. Not really familiar with Dog, and I don't believe Healy is on this initial Dynasty roster, so might both have one ringer here. Not sure. Certainly would rather have Healy, but not sure who Dog is. Regardless, Healy is going to be getting his 2 hittables, trying to volley them into play. He has plenty of time. Gets one over at a pretty scary spot, but not going to land. Boom gets cleared, and they're going to be waiting for their third SI, volleying the cards into play. But something Dynasty has to be careful of is the potential to, you know, if you commit both of the cars on one side, the Survivor Squad can, of course, just start running the other way. So that's something that the tank is going to have to keep in mind as yet another car gets very close to these Survivors.
And he's now working his toy forward. He is second pass, about 85% frustration. Let's do a quick health point evaluation. The Survivors are at 820 bonus right now. He has his tri-cap in. There is no charger. He's pushing in with 2 cars. Okay, they fly. They're both kind of to the right. The Survivors could do what you were saying. No, he can't. Oh, this car splits them 3 and 1. Aruki is completely separated. They back up to safety. Smoker looks like it was going to early pull. The Hunter is way premature. He's not going to be able to make a play off this. Jockey tries to get it, and it... Oh my goodness, it was so close. This tank is almost alone now. One car is kind of out of play. This car he's trying to dig out as best as he can. And oh, he teleports to the top of the car, and now it's going to be a run fest forward, and this car is now out of play, and it looks like Healy's going to have to rush in. He kills his Smoker, and he is almost about to go AI. He's got to get in there. What do you think about this, Rails? What is going on?
This is really unfortunate, and honestly, with a little bit of the backstory we talked about with some of the roster switches, like, when you're in a semifinals, having been there and, like, won some, lost some, for me, it's like, you want everything to go as smoothly as possible, and in this scenario, right, like, Healy's still tossing rocks and doing that. This Hunter's going to land on a Chad for a hot second, but, you know, I think the plan there maybe was to have the Hunter go early and try to get a hittable, but instead of going for the damage, the tank was looking for that kind of big play, and now it's this awkward situation where the Survivors have this position on them, you know. This is, like I said, I can't really understate that in a game like this where the teams are this evenly matched, every mistake can be capitalized on. So we really have to see how the rest of this chapter plays out. But I can't lie and say that I'm not a little confused by what I'm watching right now, because the tank is on 5% second pass, trying to get something out of it, and he does actually get something out of it because of that rock. So he had to convert it into a rock tank. I'm understanding it a little more now, but the whole thing still just feels a little awkward to me.
Yeah, it definitely was not the cleanest start to this tank. The hittable control, a little bit questionable, and more so than that, it just took him a long time to get him in. We still have the tank here with 2k HP. He has been able to get some sick rocks, which has kept his tank in this without going AI, and also has just gotten some decent damage in. We see Bully's got to pop the pills, but he has to eventually commit. Buys, actually, no, the rock again. Oh my god, takes out Coach. Boom does get popped once again. Hunter trying to go in, and Healy actually brings it back. He's still got 1500 HP, and he is chilling.
Okay, now I'm happier, because basically he decided to convert it into a rock tank, and that's the thing. Like, all right, I recognize Healy from, and I think anybody watching this recognizes Healy from Sad Boys and other really, really, really good teams. You know, he's doing the best that he possibly can with this. But MK, I mean, this still does kind of present a window, even if it's still alive, for the Survivors, that being Lobscurite, who are the underdogs, to really, really punish them for whatever this is.
Yeah, if the survivors need to go hold W or do something here, standing still is not the greatest play. They're going to switch forward. Not a bad play. Oh, the survivor is separated. The tank can take this corner. He has plenty of
Oh my
HP. He
God.
gets a punch. I don't think he's going to be able to get much more. He does whiff a punch, and he should be killed off here. Can they finish him? No. Healy gets out with a couple of HP. Remember, they started this tank with 320 bonus. They're down to 525. They have lost over 200 bonus since the tank's initial commit. And this is all of a sudden looking like great value from Dynsty / Babylonia as he hits his car in. But time's ticking for the health of this tank as it boomer sacks. Oh, that was close. Nick almost got in cap there. Getting a little greedy. And Akaru does kill off the tank. And they cleared the 100 off. And now they should be able to continue forward. So they get 300 points off of the health of the survivors from that. And to be honest, it looked like it was only going to be about 50 damage. And they get an extra 250. So I think that's great value due to the circumstances.
It's such a big risk to take when you are getting ran on the other. Hold on, Charge gonna take it inside with the spit getting popped. Okay, Dynasty struggling to find the follow-up damage, but the reset will be good as Roe drops down, double teamed by the Smoker and the Jockey. And yeah, I mean, that's obviously an inherent risk when you decide to run away from a 4K HP tank. Yes, you get away from the hittables. Yes, you get away from that corner, but you can open yourself up to new challenges, as we saw posed to L'Obscurité right there.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing that I think I would have liked to see L'Obscurité do there is instead of waiting for that tank to come in, just keep treading forward. Boomer goes in, lands on the car alarm, gets a nice triple boom. Charger finds a target and a slam and a spit. And he's swimming in it for a little bit. Akaru's got to get out, taking a lot of damage. DB affecting a lot. Oh my goodness, the bonus all of a sudden is dropping a lot from these hits. And it's down under 350. A lot of damage coming out here now.
Okay, about 40% of the bonus left. Smoker, Jockey, we got that Poo too here. What does that? Okay, they want to sit it in very fast. I respect this. Safe, protected boom. Does manage to land on Roe, but the boom gets popped second, even still, before the Smoker or the Spitter can be cleared. Spitter going to try to hide and get back in this so they don't get a boom. I love this setup here for Dynasty. Last chance hit. What do we think, Rails? What's the move?
Yeah, the amount of damage that's happened since the survivors, like, that tank's initial commit set this kind of up to happen, and then the survivors managed to move their way forward. I think that they're playing with a little bit of anxiety right now on survivor side, because it's like, all right, you know, it's a high-profile match. They know they have to win this. It's one of those things where it's like, they're trying to maybe be a little bit too reactive to what the SI are doing, because if they had stopped at one of those other spots and then just killed the tank, that was another option. But they've taken a decent amount of damage through this point, so they really need to take this last hit cleanly. It's going to be a Jockey, Spitter, Charger, Hunter for the SI, and you know, if they can, that's good. They're still going to make the safe room with a good amount of bonus, but the big difference is going to be this tank that we have coming up on the other side.
Last hit, opportunity for damage, 331 points on top of the 400 distance. They can max that with 700 and change. See what the last hit can take away from them. The best spawns he can ask for next to a quad. The Charger misses. Hunter still trying to find a target. Gets blasted out of the sky over the Midnight Rider's bus. And that will be a clean take. I think there was only some friendly fire and some free spit damage from the mortar spit. And they'll walk in with 716 points. Not a bad start for L'Obscurité. Let's see what happens when we switch to the other side. It will now be Dynsty and Babylonia. But they make it, Null. They make it.
And I'm curious, like, would...
Hey, Smiles.
Was this a better outcome for Dynasty than, say, just getting a single in-cap and dying? If he had just committed to damage, full committed, and just gotten an in-cap, have a player bleeding out the entire time, would that be better than this extended situation? I don't know. I mean, either way, I feel like it ended up playing out well for Dynasty, considering the beginning of that tank fight was very worrisome. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, this initial tank obviously going to be very important. It can be a sort of all or nothing tank, especially if you commit to the hittables all in, like we saw Healy do. Curious to see what L'Obscurité has in store for this initial hit.
Charger, Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, opening set of spawns now. Without the bus being here, Rails, what do you, if you were going here as infected, we just go with the basic right off the The billboard sign pretty much standard attack, because only the truck, I believe, you can spawn out of is the only difference from the normal one, besides the bus missing from zone mod.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that, like, okay, when it comes to the opening hit, when it also comes to the tank commit path, like Nine brought up a really interesting point, which is, okay, was that damage somehow better than what he would have gotten had he come in and gotten an in cap? My answer is I don't know, because you know, it's like you come in, you get the in cap, that opens up the damage bonus, but I think he was maybe going for something like a kill, because to me, in a tank like this, it's like when you have all these obstacles and that other stuff, it's like, if you can somehow get a kill, that's like actually a really big win in a match of this level.
Oh, yeah.
So if they can get some decent damage on the first hit using the props, that's one thing, but I'm really interested into who gets this tank and how they play it. And it's a rookie, so there you go.
Wow. Okay, initial hit, ready to go. Hunter spawns in. Keep it quiet for the time being, but with the rocket charge in. Laser down, boom on 2. Sure, with some good things from the smoke in the meantime. Rochelle not quite able to get the clear, but does eventually find it. Decent hit for L'Obscurité for sure. I mean, 4% no spit. Tough area to hit at. I think they'll definitely be satisfied with that as the tank comes in. Hands of a rookie.
I'm really curious to see. I think a rookie's probably going to go back to make sure he gets both cars. It probably doesn't even need to be thought about. He's definitely going to do it. And he already is going back for the hatchback. In my opinion, the hatchback's probably a little bit more favorable to hit. It spins a little bit better control. Let's see what happens when he gets his first punch in here. Okay, he's put out in the street. Hatchback, or the sedan is in the street too. And look at Dynasty. No pressure. They're just going to play it back off. They don't want to eat no stray car. Can't disagree with it, but okay, now they're going to push him, and I take it back. Oh, my goodness. And that's what happens when you're being a little aggressive here. It could happen. It rains metal sometimes, and metal's bad for your health.
That's true. Okay, get the chip level on the charge, of course. No chance for that charge. Charge not really great with all these cars. Anyways, they got rid of a spit as well. I'm not sure if this is going to be a boom here for Proud, but in the meantime, it rains a certain kind, different kind of metal on a rookie in the meantime. 200 points of damage onto him as the lead connects with those SMGs. And you can see that it's very unlikely that they'll be in a spot where they just can't avoid a car, either by dropping down behind a car of their own, etc. So they will continue to cautiously get some more chip, but this is beautifully done by a rookie. I mean, he's kind of got them both over to the left side. Sure, this West Atlanta sign could pose an issue for him, but he's got 60% frustration. He can take some time, meet shield with the car for a bit, buy himself, okay, 30%. Car, awkward, but he can leave that there because he's going to be playing around this other car, which he does. Volley forward, 25%. Finally getting it in. Hunter Smoker Jockey with the car set up on top of the taxi. One more hit. Oh my goodness, that's 2-for-1 deal with that. Hold on, it's a round almost over with the smoke pull. Hits him to the opposite end, and that is going to be
What did I tell you guys at the start of this cast? Who is the one player that I told you to keep an eye on? Because I first person spectated that tank the entire time, and the way that he handled that hittable, you will not see any better. He was able to literally move that one hittable in and chop that car across the top. That reminded me of watching some of the old footage back in the day, like a Thug Life tank or something, with how he handled that. That was amazing.
Incredible. And it's one of those moments where it's not only beautiful to watch, it also has massive impact on the game, as it is going to be L'Obscurité up by 650 points roundabout as we take it to Chapter 2, the Carnival.
As we go into Chapter 2, I am also a big fan of Dark Carnival Remix for some of the chapters, and this is the one that I kind of like a lot more for the tank fight that we're probably... I don't think we're going to see this where you'd fight it over in the Kittyland area. I like where they have the new addition to the circle fenced-in ride. It changes a lot and gets a lot more dynamic for the tank fight, in my opinion, for Dark Carnival Remix. So this is the one I like a lot. But I believe this one's going to be when they go down the slide. So this is going to be very interesting, as there is just a few things change from this one to the other. And I don't think there's as many hittables as well, if I remember correctly. But I do think he could bring one with him, because there's one by the safe room.
Ooh.
Question is, will he bring it?
Maybe. Because, yeah, this is 73, so that's going to be... Hold on, let me check the math. Like a noob. Wait.
Yeah, I'm flying over too. I'm gonna see where he's at.
Yeah, well, because that's, NF having built this map the way that he did, you can actually see where the tank spawns. So, okay, yeah, this is going to be an interesting decision for the survivors. Like, they can decide to either stay up top or try to push forward into the tank, but they actually might have to fight him up top, and then if they want to go back... No, sorry, wait, because they're going to start up top there where the tank actually spawns when they cross that line. So then they're going to try to go back, but it is that same kind of decision, because they have to decide whether they want to go back through the one route or through the other route. And isn't there a way now that they added that you can actually get back like faster instead of having to drop all the way and then go around the back of the alley?
Yes, there's the back alley route, but the only problem is you need to be synchronized because it is a one-way drop and you cannot jump up and shoot over. So if you're not synchronized, there is no way. You see the two little yellow... Actually, you could probably jump up and shoot, but if you get a pull back and someone else lands on you, you're not going to get cleared. You're pretty much dead. So you're right, there is another route, but it is a one-way only, and it is to safety. So we might actually see that tank come into play that I was talking about with the Kitty Land, or they might fight up top, which isn't terrible though, Rails, because if they go back to the area where they first come up, there is no way to get knocked down, but it does leave the bottom open for boomers to be able to spawn and just not show himself and boom up above, and you can't wall bang that ground either. So there's a little risk of staying up there.
And I'm trying to figure it out because I think the fastest way to actually go down is for them to spawn the tank and then drop into that like rectangular hole there and then drop down again and then go. Is that true? Go back out and over, or is it faster to go back and then go down the flight of stairs and then that way? I don't know. It's pretty close either way because one of them gets you a chance to drop without doing the stairs. But yeah, no, I mean, this is another kind of pivotal moment because if you're Dynasty, you have to find a way to flip this game.
Yeah, I mean, we see it taking a long time to ready up, and I think they could definitely have had discussion about that, but the hit is in. Charge going to try to find road. No way. Going super wide, getting completely shut down. I mean, hey, they do still get some damage in a little bit, 3%, but that is a pretty large hit right out the safe room, and we'll see if L'Obscurité is able to find a little bit more luck with it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options as to deal with that tank. I am incredibly interested to see not just what L'Obscurité is going to do, but if Dynasty is going to choose the same option, maybe they'll be able to see it in action first. But one thing that we're seeing right now is the attempt to avoid the refreshments entirely. Hunter actually spawning in, but MK, dude, I mean, this doesn't feel like it works lately. Are they still going to, what are they going to do here?
They're probably just going to yield it because the Hunter delayed the time. The bait timer is probably going to come up soon, and if it doesn't work, you have to rush through this. So they're just going to go to it normally, which I can't really disagree with. But the Smoker's going to get a pull. They're not going to get the clear. The Pound Spit's going to be successful. The Smoker lands on his head, but a frame too late to hold a minute for those extra 3 dings. And he is going to be able to run out, but that's going to be 2 survivors suffering about 20 damage plus. The other 2 will still remain 5 punches at a full crisp 100 HP as this Spitter goes back for a despawn, and they're going to look for a charge spit on the inside, and I can't disagree with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a great spot for a hit. Charge spawns very early, and he finds a collision with the spit. No block. The jockey will not be able to carry the other survivor into the spit, which is... yeah, it's all right for L'Obscurité, but they are definitely getting rotted down here, down to 85.8%. There's going to be, I actually didn't see the sack order there, but could potentially have a great follow-up hit in the alleyway as well, even with the boom. Not sure.
Yeah, the question is,
okay.
I think you just have to go for alley here due to where the tank spawns. You got to get what you want for this, and I completely... don't listen to what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm talking about. They're going to sack Boomer here and try to delay as long as possible, it would seem. And it looks like that L'Obscurité is going to yield the flag for a white flag for a bit, fight off this horde. But they should be able to take this with only a few. But they go in quickly here. Charger does miss. Free spit damage will get a ding or 2. That's it. Pretty clean take there. But they've almost got 20% off of L'Obscurité before tank. And no matter where the tank is, that is good pre-tank damage in my opinion.
I do think it's good damage as they get another random jockey, but I mean, there's some pretty serious choke points at the start of Chapter 2, and of course we just saw one there as well, so I mean, I don't think L'Obscurité is going to be incredibly upset about the situation they're in. You know, everyone fast here as they bring in this tank that's about 3/4 of the way through the chapter, and now the question is, what is the plan for L'Obscurité once they bring in this tank? Because the hit is up. They're going to have to deal with the hit in addition to finding where they want to take the tank.
And that's like a classic. Honestly, this is a classic situation of, because the survivors have to transition. Do you hit now or do you save? The charger goes in. That's a great level by Spooky right there as the tank is going to be up in the hands. Or actually, I'm sorry, that was Spooky getting leveled, I should say. That was a great level by 7 rounds. What I was going to say is that's okay. Now what they're going to do is do the delay spit. And if you notice, the tank is actually already deciding to cut them off. So the survivors are instead going to be having to stay forward. Wow, this is a really interesting turn.
I mean, it's safe here, but I don't. There's no hittable possibility. But it's gonna be easy to get a corner, and no survivors up here to chip him on the way in. I don't know about this.
This is kind of wild. Oh!
I don't know if that's committable. You might think about it.
I thought the Rock was gonna kill the Boomer. I'm really intrigued by this because now we do have a pull going out. The survivors are forced to stay inside. I mean, I don't know if they knew that the tank didn't bring a dumpster. That was the big thing. The reason that confused me so hard for a second, guys, is because, like, the survivors usually have to go back. I honestly hate this area on the survivor side in this spot.
This is definitely not a pool. I mean, okay, he's going to drop it in. We got a Hunter Jockey. Spooky getting the smacks, immediately gets a corner. Rose going to go down with one more. Yeah, they've only got 3 left. But look at the verticality here. They are going to continue to wrap around on the tank, but he finds another corner with 2k HP left with a player in the corner. Double team on Coach. No, he's going to be able to stop all of that. But wait, 1500 HP left on Spooky Coach, and Ellis can Coach finish him off while Ellis gets cornered. Oh my god. He decommits with 300 and 250. The pistols are still good, but Coach goes for the pickup. He's going to try to hold it, but it's just a bait. The tank goes down. I mean, we got 3 players down, but they didn't get wiped. Will that be good enough? The spit, not going to come out in time. They're going to save it.
MK, you can probably understand what I'm thinking right now. I'll let you go and share your thoughts, though.
Yeah, first let's see if they're able to get the pickup. This is going to be another in cap on the back. This is going to be devastating for them. Nick is going to go down again. They're not going to have pills for him. Now they're going to be crawling. Now, as far as damage assessment here, remember they were down to about 80% when after it's all said and done. They're at 13% with the 100 scratches, but in my opinion, I did not like the play of being down there. Tank got an instant corner immediately, 3-punch in cap. He had so much health yet. I think L'Obscurité should be grateful for the fact that they're even alive right now. It's just very fortunate for them that that charger brick wall, which shouldn't even happen. So for that fact alone, they're grateful for all these extra points, in my opinion. And that's how I feel about it, Rails. I just don't agree with it. They go quickly, or the charger completely misses it. Goes from one garage door to the other. I didn't even know that was possible on that angle, but he's going to tie off.
So here's the thing.
Black and white.
The thing is, right, and you articulated it really well, but the thing is, he got one insta corner and then he got a second corner, and that's why I hate it there. I know Nine was talking about the verticality, which is also true, but the thing is, when a tank can get that corner that fast, then usually things don't go well, you know?
Absolutely. Follow-up hit is going to be a quad attempt, but they're getting laser down before they can make any connection. Smoke pull, but they'll be able to clear that with the M2. On the Jockey, trying to neutralize this hit. I mean, it's still lingering. We still got the Charger, still got the Hunter, but they are actually going to turn tail and completely decommit from this bleeding outlaw Kirite roster.
I don't think I've ever seen a quad go in and nobody die and they get hit with the same quad again. There goes the smoker pull. The Hunter comes in. Okay, the smoker finally dies. The Jockey finds the target. The Charger lands as well. Everything's getting cleaned up, but the Jockey, Araku is gonna. I always mess up his name.
Iruki.
Thank you, Iruki. Gets cleared, but the bonus is gone. The in cap goes out. Loud is almost dead, and it looks like this is about to be the end for L'Obscurité in just a few seconds.
It's gonna be, and I mean, we saw this happen on the first map where, again, Left 4 Dead 2, especially nowadays and especially in comp, right? It's nothing if not a momentum-based game. This is a rolling wipe that we're watching at this point, and that's going to stop L'Obscurité at just around 1,139 points, right? I mean, Iruki's doing his best to get whatever he can. He's going to get a couple more points, so good on him. But again, the decision of fighting that tank in that spot, I mean, I kind of want to hear what you think about this, but like, to me, the fact that they weren't able to get back outside, either because they were scared of the intercept or the hittable, like, this could be a point where this game changes again if I'm not, like, being biased towards one side, right?
Yeah, I mean, that area to me, when I was watching, it was very reminiscent of Haunted Forest, like Chapter 2 on an early tank, where they get you on that stairwell area, and it's like, yes, you can jump up and wrap around, but you've got all the SIs that can come from all these different angles, and you've got very easy corners, like we just saw. They were kept in place by L'Obscurité, but L'Obscurité was kept in place, but it was like by a spit, and it was by the fear of what was going to happen if they jumped across. And I felt like that kind of on the fence attitude, or just kind of not really, there is a time and a place for a value play, but that was not it, essentially. And we do see the Spitter Jockey Charger Smoker. This could be a great hit. We didn't see it pay off entirely well last time. Look at that smoke spawn. And Dynasty's going to play it slow here, kind of catching the Smoker out, neutralizing him for the time being. They call the go, charge from one end, finds, but immediately cleared. Spit onto nothing, and a beautiful take by Dynsty.
Now it is going to be L'Obscurité's infected. They have not followed up with a good hit after their survivor death. Let's see if they can keep the morale going. They do have a good point delta lead on Dark Carnival. It's not easy to make up a lot of points when you're down. We know they're not worth a lot. I think it's 400, 500, 500, 4 or 500 again. So there's not a lot of distance points. So I think if L'Obscurité could get all the bonus down, and even if they don't manage to get a wipe, they'll still be in good shape and hold on to that delta by a couple hundred points still.
That's a great point.
Look what they're trying to do. They're going to try to do it.
Always. We've seen this for months. They try and try, but lately it just does not seem to work. They cannot get the table to do the angle that they want. And you know what? L'Obscurité is going to say, F that we ball. Oh, wait, the charge gets cleared. Hold on. A little scratch from the smoke, but what was that hit? Okay, the smoke charge is not working out at all.
Yeah, and to your guys' point, that's another one of those exploits where it's like, okay, is it an exploit, is it not? I mean, you can knock a table, therefore it's possible to do it. Maybe it's not an exploit, right? But teams don't really do it anymore, and most of the, like in this game, we've seen both teams fake it and then go through the building. So this is really not a whole lot of damage on Team Dynsty right now, just because Dynsty, like I said, I think they feel the sense that they can actually win this game at this point again after what happened on map 1. So this is where, if I'm L'Obscurité, because I've been in situations where I've been the underdog in matches like this, it's like you have to get the focus under control and your team coordination under control and start trying to hit again on your terms. I know that's really difficult to do, but if they want to have a chance of keeping this lead, that's what they're going to have to figure out right now.
Look at this, trying to transition outside. L'Obscurité taking a, oh my god, the spit failed though. The jockey with some charge smacks will be good, but where's the spit? Kind of awkward.
That would have been a lot of damage, too. They would have stacked on top of him. I think the Charger went a little premature, in my opinion. I know what he tried to do. It just didn't work out very well. Spit missed, but they do get some official damage in. But only 2 of the survivors really take a lot of damage, leaving 2 survivors 5 punches for tank commit. We'll see how much that important comes after alley hit. That'll be a 2-2. Retro attack accompanied by the Spitter. It looks like they're trying to push through this really quickly. One survivor's already gone. They're separated a little bit here. They don't jump on it, though. They let him take the alley. They go after they exit the alley. Hunter, no idea what he was going for there. And a nice boomer, though, but a spit block, and they could just go around. But I would have liked to see that Hunter land there and see if they get some damage before tank. But Mla is common locked in the back here. But luckily, just being slowed down, not taking much damage.
Okay, I mean, this is a heartbreaker for L'Obscurité so far. 90% bonus, doing about 10% better than L'Obscurité at this point. They're going to be able to run it around. The Spitter is still alive here. Yes, we're going to see the block attempt ready to go. And what's the move? Is Dynsty going to press over this area? They've got plenty of time, if we can see from the sky cam. Jockey does land, but look, they've made it over, and now this is a really awkward situation for Proud, even with the double charge into a rock. Well done by Dynsty.
It was dangerous. He lost 500 HP for that rock attempt. I don't know if it was worth it, but now he's just playing a normal rock tank. Dynsty/Babylonia is on safe ground, and the tank did not try to dig out any hittables. So he has to take a scenic route to get to them, and he's also in danger of the Survivor team retreating if he does so, but he just jumps on the ground. This is interesting. He's going to walk right over. The Survivors are instantly going to push to him, and now he's going to pay for going to get these hittables, and this is going to have to be his commit, but I don't know. Do you go for the hittables or do you leave him? This is very risky, kind of an all or nothing play if he chooses to do so.
You have to go for the hittables, in my opinion, because it's one of two options: either hittables or early support. That boomer does actually manage to land, and you could also do early support and try to land the hittable, right? But he has to play for the dumpsters, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. So he's gonna knock the first one in. Let's see exactly what happens here, because these hittables can really be like ping pong balls inside of that carousel-ish area, but this one's gonna go spiraling over the top. The one that he's trying to use right now, he's actually going to give up on. He's on second pass, and he still is kind of working his way in, so he doesn't have a hittable now at all. Now the smoker pole is going to go out. He's still nowhere close. This is really not good for L'Obscurité, because the Survivors are just going to run him around, and this is kind of what I was talking about, MK. This could actually be a no-hitter.
Oh, man.
Rough for L'Obscurité. That is going to be nothing. They get 5% with the tank. That is it. And this is actually now looking like Babylonia / Dynsty could take a Delta lead after this is over by a couple hundred. Not just take it by a little, but take a couple hundred in their favor.
Obviously, Left 4 Dead 2, life is everything in this game. But sometimes you have to take a hit to it. You have to take a hit to your bonus as well to set you up for success, to make it so that you can take a tank like this instead of where L'Obscurité had to take it. We'll see how much of this 940 bonus they can get in. Hit comes in, double teaming. Charge's going to follow back up. They do eventually get the clear. So it will just be a classic hunt spit and a nice little double boom as well. But Rails, I mean, what a moment for Dynsty to completely get back into the driver's seat here.
Yeah, I mean, Dynsty has their collection of great players, like Babylonia. Yeah, when they were known as Babylonia, they still kind of are, and now with Dynsty, same thing. They have a couple of different players, but Chad and Healy are two of the best players in this game. And it's like, so, okay, MLA also has been around forever, but the reason I point those two out is that in situations like this, now they know that they have to go and get the rest of the things. If they can actually score 1,300 points on this map, that is going to be awesome, because then we're going to have almost like a tied game going into the next map with them being a little bit ahead. I don't know if they're going to make it exactly with that, because these hits do have some potential, but that's going to be a skeet. Smoker pole does get cleared, and now I think MK, they're going to have to bet big and go for the quad or something.
Yeah, but unfortunately they killed the spitter at the end there, so now they're going to have a boomer without spit, and their time to sack for quads is past. So that is no longer an option. They're only going to get 2 more hits, so it's not even possible to do that. Unless they get something crazy here, like a massive reset through this merry-go-round and get an in cap, but without a spitter it's going to be so difficult. See if they can make it happen here and all. This is a very big hit for them, and they're just going to sack boomer. Okay, this can be a quad now, but it's going to be they're not going to have favorable spawns to send it, in my opinion.
Definitely not. The button is going to get pressed. Comments will be cleared out while they continue to press forward. It is obviously going to be a desperation hit. Might not even have time to wait. Might just have to start sending it in now. Uruki, 1 second. He is eventually going to spawn in. Charge grabs one around the corner, but it gets cleared so damn fast. Jockey Hunter on the back too. No. Oh my god. One by one, they get shut down. 711 bonus, full distance. And let's see. This is going to put them into the lead. Nothing too major, but oh my god, what a flip, especially with the tank itself being like 3/4 of the way through the chapter. It was already guaranteed for L'Obscurité to get all that distance, and they still get completely clapped back by Dynsty on chapter 2.
That is a big swing. Good job for Babylonia or Dynsty for being able to pull this back in their favor on a campaign that doesn't have a lot of value for distance, but when you're that healthy, you can make up a lot of points, and that was a prime example of it. But now it's going to be all to the morale. L'Obscurité can bounce it back, definitely. 45% tank, and this is interesting, guys. They're not going to be able to get out of the tunnel, and if they want to go back to the end of the tunnel, they have to make the jump. Yes.
Yeah, all right. So this is
big.
As soon as we started talking about it, it was kind of like, all right, well, we keep talking about these abilities for teams to then come back and take momentum back and forth with each other. And it's like every cast, that's just how Left 4 Dead 2 is. But this is one of the ones that, you know, even among like the high tier players, if not the top tier players, it's like, okay, one, can everybody make the jump, but it's still a jump that isn't really guaranteed on Survivor side. So what I'm asking myself right now is, after what Haruki did on map 1, who between Bully and Dog is going to be the hero in this game and try to bring this back by playing just like a really good tank that takes advantage of the Survivor side? Because, you know, L'Obscurité, they still have a chance, but what I will say is that if I'm playing in this match, I do not want to be betting on map 4 for a comeback. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. But right now, the attack goes in. Jockey finds a target. Oh my gosh, they're not clearing it. This is a lot of... Oh, the spit's not hitting him. He has a safe corner. And wow, Healy only takes 15 damage. I thought that was going to be disastrous for them. And it turns out just to be kind of an average hit.
He goes straight into another one, unless Dynasty can just hold W through it. The spawns are just now coming up. They've already made it into this side room. Going to be able to blast right out of it with 2 seconds left on Dog. Okay, they're gonna give them patience. The thing is, with this area, of course, you got the pipe that you can jump on. You can make Charger's life living hell to try to land through here. Charger, Smoker, Hunter, Spit. L'Obscurité is not biting. They're gonna back it up and wait for them to be at this area that they prefer.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably not the worst thing. Okay, the Charger and Hunter go for the back two solo. Interesting call. The Charger... Oh, they land the double cap in the back! He gets a slam. The Hunter's ripping away. What incredible damage there coming out from L'Obscurité, but also the clears were pretty quick, but good double damage attack coming out. They need 1 or 2 more of them before they get to this tank, but I only think it's going to be 1 more due to how close this tank spawn's coming.
Hey, watch out!
Bully going to be the tank this time around for L'Obscurité. Bully has been a very dependable member of L'Obscurité, signing them up for cups, often being that player who they can count on to show up. We'll see if he can show up in the server here on his tank. Smoker, Jockey, Spit, Boom. Another Poo-2 on the drop down. And they do drop down. Keeping Row up for a bit. He doesn't get caught. Jockey dead. Spit comes out. Just some standing Spit attempt. And keep the Smoke Boom for when Bully brings in. But Bully is going to be the tank, and he is the Smoker. We'll see how this works out, what they want to do.
Huge misplay. Huge misplay there. They need the Spitter to not let them run out. Now they leave the Survivors the ability to run back, and they're not going to do it. This tank spawns far away on the roof. They could have easily taken it, and they're going to yield it back. Who knows if this is going to be a good call or not. Bully gets stuck, though. He's got to get down there quickly. They can't hesitate. If the Survivors
really
try
close
to jump over there and get back, we're going to fight this all the way back at the safe room. That's how far back they're going to take it. Question is, are they going to make it, or are they going to fight it here? Oh, they're fighting here!
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say, and this is what I referenced from the first time. It's like, I'm pretty sure they might know the jump, but honestly, it's actually that difficult to do when under pressure with the tank there. The other thing is, the reason that I mentioned that it was a really, really close gap between when they could push outside and when they couldn't is because, honestly, MK, I think they're worried about getting boomed if they go outside there. But I think you're right in terms of what you said, in terms of, like, they could maybe push outside, but it's a high-risk play with the boomer up. Yeah.
Definitely, but I know Null has been following L'Obscurité since the very beginning when they wrote it up from not winning. I don't think they won very many games in RBT7, but when Bully goes in, Null, take it away for him and see what he could do.
Okay, already chipped down 1,500. Hunter are going to be falling in from behind, but they are waiting to get that corner. No, he gets one smack on the gets a double in the corner with the spacing on the ball. Is it going to be the jockey as well?
That's what I was talking
The
about.
triple
That's what
tap.
I was talking about. I said, who's going to be the hero, right? And Bully, as you guys said, okay, he's the captain. He's the guy that usually shows up for him. I've seen his name around too. That is exactly what they needed. Now, MK, this is, in my opinion, I know we're playing 1 through 5 reportedly, right? But like, what is your big play moment here? Do you try to push outside or do you stay inside?
Push out, no matter what.
All right.
If the Boomer's there, send 1 Survivor solo, take it, and push out to the right.
I'm gonna give you a counterpoint, and then we'll ask Null what he thinks. But I personally think that the error that they made is that they got multi-punched in the hallway.
Yeah, the tank made a brilliant play there. Did you see the play that he made there, Null? The tank?
Just a smack on Row and then immediately keep up the pressure.
He just left him. He hit one row
Yeah,
once and left,
yeah.
and the survivors wanted to come there and chip him, and they walked right into a double multi, making it easy for the rest of the SI just to simply cover. The jockey was just waiting for the opportunity just not to get punched by mistake because he had him doubled. I think was it 3 or 2 punches? I didn't see how many doubles it was actually. It was at least 2. I know that.
Yeah, it was a good 2 or 3. I mean, he already lost so much health on the commit path. It's just health that you have to pay to get in. So, especially with the SIs not really being able to spawn in that back corner, you have to bring it so deep on the tank. Otherwise, you're going to trade maybe an in cap and just be dead. So I love it. I love Security. I would really love to see a risky move like you're suggesting, whether it's taking it forward or trying to get all the way back to the safe room. I think they're both strokes of genius here. We'll see if Security is going to take the risk. The world is theirs essentially on this, but first they're going to have to come back with some good survivor takes on these initial hits. Hunt, Jock, Spit, Boom, and Dynasty is waiting to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I do. Do believe that we're going to try to see a split here. Okay, they gave up the hunter in between. The hunter does find a target. Oh, he gets stumbled with the spitter. Jockey lands on him. He's swimming in the spit.
Wow.
He takes quite a bit of damage, almost 10% from the gate. So a good follow-up from Dynsty / Babylonia getting wiped out. Great damage to start it. Lobscurite, though, got to stay healthy enough to get to this tank. And, man, that's a lot of damage to start it, man.
This is huge. What a great start for a Dynasty. They've got a charge Smoke Hunt Boom ready to roll whenever they feel like pulling the trigger. Obscurite seemed poised to just let them walk out first, and it looks like Dynasty is willing to do the same. And I can't say I disagree with this. It is tough, especially with no spit to get the damage in. Interesting. Bully pushing the other way. Yeah, I like this setup. The Hunter does make it, but the charge gets lasered down. And, turns out being pretty decent for Dynasty, that being said.
I mean, that's about 4% coming out there additional without a spitter. The hunter got most of it. The boomer does land, but I don't think they got any damage from the boom, which is more or less just a delay because the survivors did wait there. Spawn timers got down to 10 on the last one. One was down to 3, so this will allow the infected to set up, I believe, before the bottom. They're going to go quickly, and the smoker tries to get a pull. Oh, they all stop. Jockey lands. Jockey falls down. Okay, there's only a smoker. The charger. Oh, they get 2. Oh, my goodness. Bully saves them again. They almost die up top there. That was so close, Rails. That was so close.
So, all right. I'm trying to figure out right now whether or not... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out right now if Lobscurite has set positions, like a designated P1, designated P2 and stuff, and they are actually going to try to take the risk to push out, so they're making the play, right? And now the tank is actually going to be in the hands of MLA, longtime member, and I do believe the captain as well for Babylonia. Like I said, the team since its inception, he's going to be going in, and now the hit's going to have to go in as well. He's pushing Coach around, but he's making a mistake by whipping on him right there. He goes, a rookie with the jukes around the lamppost, as now he gets one punch onto one survivor. Rookie gets the clear onto the jockey as well. It's just the boomer and the hunter, and then he finally gets cornered. But oh man, a rookie really ran that tank all the way around, got him to this 2 punches, and okay guys, we have another score. We have another score shift, but like I said, that kind of play that you saw right there, you're not going to see any better in terms of what happens. If I have to choose one player for the impact player of the game so far, like, it's a clear choice.
Yeah, how about it, Nah? How about it? I don't know how much he popped off during the cast that you've been doing this whole time over the years, but man, he is popping off today.
A rookie pops off every cast, but it's honestly tough for me to choose between a rookie and Bully. They're both going absolute insane mode right now. The issue is, as we see a hit come out, Charge is going to try to find Bully, get sidestep with just the one smack, and a boom hops through. Wait. Dynasty sent it all. Now Lobscurite is just going to... Will they have time to take the roller coaster? Because what I was going to say is, yes, there's a huge potential for a flip, but I felt like Chapter 2 is much more secure, whereas Chapter 3, you got to deal with the roller coaster. They're not, I don't think they're going to be given the roller coaster. I think Dynasty is going to have plenty of time to set up, and this is going to be a tough hit based on what we see, which is a quad.
This is going to set the momentum for the rest of the chapter here. If Lobscurite is able to get up here with no damage, they'll probably be able to make it because it's only going to be a 2-2. They're not going to be able to do much to stop them. They're allowing them to go really far here. Smoker lands, gets clear. Charger is in another zip code. There's no way that... Oh, the 2-cap in the back. The Charger tried to land. He loses his 1v1, but the damage is a lot in the back here. And they're going to be crawling now the rest of the map. It worked out very well for Babylonia, actually.
This is a brilliant game because we have two factors at play, right? One, we have the fact that these teams most likely know each other, right? Number two, we also have the fact they're playing on orange ping, right? Which can't be understated here because it's like, all right, it's going to have a little more resistance. And the fact that Lobscurite has taken the lead is super important at this point because now, like I said, people are fighting for momentum. They have to do exactly what, like I said, they have to make the best call for the team in the moment. If that means now that they have to just face one quad and they get into the safe room, that's one thing. If that means maybe they actually have two survivors go and score, like who knows. But they have to find a way to take advantage of this opportunity because I'm trying to remember the last time we saw Map 5 at Dark Carnival Remix in a semifinals.
It was so clean by Lobscurite, and then Ellis... Okay, he'll be able to run it around. Fortunately, Ellis is one of those higher HP players, so he will be able to recover. We still... Okay, player goes down. Buy some time. We're going to have a Jockey, Hunter, Spitter. I'm not sure what the final one will be, but going in, again, with things that cannot be understated, is the potential impact of this final hit. 250 bonus could be gone immediately. Jockey, Hunter, boom, spit here on the button. How hard are they going to play around the button? We see the Hunter already ready to make a move, and this is on a knife's edge here.
Yeah, this is very difficult to push down here. They want to go down and stop this and run back up. There goes Bully. He's probably the Jockey lands. Bully gets the clear. No, it's not. This is going to be so much damage, and that is going to be Ellis going down. They're not able to clear it. They're going to lose all of their damage bonus, but they're going to make the safe room with a couple points of bonus, and I think they're going to take the lead by about 300, guys. I think that's what it's going to be. I doubt they get another full hit.
No, they're going to have to send whatever it is they have, and at this point, as you mentioned, the only bonus that's left is the health bonus, so that's why they're having to really kind of prioritize themselves. The Charger lands on Coach's head and actually kills him. There goes one of the multipliers, as we now actually have a pullback as well with Bully. So they actually did more than what we expected them to do, obviously. That means they knifed one of the multipliers out of there, and it's going to be a ×3 instead of a ×4. But as you said, MK, they are going to get just about a, 220-point lead? So that's not for nothing on a map like this, in a scenario like this, where you have the two teams playing on orange ping. They're evenly matched. But one thing I will say is that I think Lobscurite's strength as a team, and this happens a lot when you have teams that are underdogs, it's like, their infected is fire, just literally straight fire, right? And then on Survivor side, I'm actually still trying to figure out if they have like the set position thing, because for veteran teams that becomes something, you know, some teams do it, some teams don't. But personally, when I was on IVP, that was some of the most fun that I had on Survivor side, and it's solely because, you know, that team really stuck to like kind of like strict positioning. And for Lobscurite, you know, it's like, all right, they're making the map, they're making the safe rooms, but both times on map 1 and map 3, the instigator of them doing better has been the SI. So they need to not take their feet off the gas, and they actually need to like make this safe room a decent bonus. They have an advantage, I think, because the tank is at 80%, but like I said, they also take a lot of damage on some of the hits in the middle. So I don't know if they need more shotties or they have to have the two people in the front lead, but what do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder what exactly their positions are. I know that they play 3-1, especially in open areas like this. Obviously, we got Proud leading the way, but regardless, Charger, Jockey, Hunter, Spit here. First hit for Dynsty. Usually, this is a tough hit to find some damage, but with this lineup, I mean, this could be huge for them. 80% tank as well is going to be quite interesting. But let's get this first hit out of the way as the Hunter hops from the other side. The rocket spawns come in. No spit. Actually, it does go ahead and make its way over. And I think he bailed out a little bit on that one.
Yeah, Yeah, the spit unfortunately didn't even make it on the way down, but it was a fortunate spread to hit the survivor who didn't get capped. It's actually pretty respectable damage considering the spit was not on its initial target. But this was a chapter we were talking about. This is not easy to make up points on if you're down whatsoever. The biggest hit you'll get is the Kittyland Pavilion, but right now they go in. Hunter comes in, finds a target, doesn't get cleared right away. Okay, he's clear now. Charger gets stumbled by the boomer, gets killed off. Smoker dies. Not much damage with the follow-up there, but like we were saying now, this 80% tank, when they get to this, it's going to be during the event. The event automatically turns off when the tank is up, so there will be no commons coming in, and the tank will not be able to commit with the commons as well because he spawns so far away. So no commons and no tank on the commit right away. The survivors will have time to clean it up.
The thing is, I mean, we have seen situations go incredibly awry very much before 80%. With people getting charged off the rooftop, remember that, or getting isolated on top of the rooftop with nobody able to help them. Teams are going to have to stay locked in well before that 80% mark because this can slip out of their fingers very quickly. The hit does come through in the meantime. Hunt spit as well as a jockey for a brief moment. You know, good damage getting through. Nothing major breaking yet, but I do wonder what's going to happen, not just as we get on top of these roofs, but also as we start the event and head to that Kittyland Pavilion area.
They're out. Spawns are up. There is no jockey. There's no spitter. Boomer wants to go quickly here. They gets a double. They're going to go quick here. The Smoker gets the pull. The Charger gets one fist. Completely gets melted. Dead Hunter gets shut down. Doesn't find the target. And Lobscurite shuts that down pretty well, just taking a couple dings of percentage. Smoker wants to get a reset. I don't think no one's going to let that happen. They're going to go, are they going to kill him off? Oh, gets a pull. Okay, cleaned up, and he does finally die off. But look at the damage coming through here. No, they did manage to get 15% of the bonus down before they even get to the Kittyland Pavilion. But now they don't have good spawns either for this Kittyland Pavilion. Look at this.
Right.
If this is a Smoker, they're in really bad shape right now for Dynasty.
Teams usually opt for a quad in this area. You got the Horde coming out. You got the lots of areas to commit from. It is charged, so the Boom comes out early, grabs one. Still going to have a Jockey Charger Spit ready to go as a Jockey playing some shenanigans. So they're going to try to send this hit early. But oh my god, look at the Jockey ready to go. Oh, Charge goes in first, gets it raw with look at the boom, keep him in there. Oh my god, he's not done yet. Nicholas, he doesn't know where to go except for down. Bully with a major stumble.
Really, really nice call by the SI there because, like you guys said, the meta is to go for a quad during the event because the basic calculation is when you have a bunch of hordes before SI that can kill them, it's a better decision, but they caught him by surprise and went for the cap instead. That opens up a couple options for this tank because, again, considering we are playing map 5, right, it's like, all right, you know, you have 2 maps to make the comeback. You want to play a little bit of rock, you have to go for the wipe. What happens? This double cap is going in too with the Hunt Spit and then the charge. Now the pull on Coach back into Spit too. So, and those last 2 hits, they've literally lost how much bonus in the
About 30+% right now with those 2 hits.
That's insane.
And one was a 2-2 caught from behind. It was just beautifully done.
You can never count. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very minor lead, but you can never take a breath against these top teams because they always just find ways to throw you completely off guard. Lobscurite maybe feeling a little bit confident with the hit order that was up with the button being pressed, but Dynasty keeps them incredibly honest, almost too honest here. As a charge comes in with the Hunt, that will eventually be a miss as well. Okay, getting a little scratch in on or rather on Dog, but we're gonna have Chad as a tank, and Chad is a player we have not really mentioned since the start of the match, but he is one of those extremely well-known players, extremely fearsome players, and this could be his moment to shine against Lobscurite.
Yeah, he's been in so many different. Like I said, this is over the past few years. You know, you've had certain players who have just, you know, continually performed at a high level and hugs and scrims, matches, and everything in between. And it's like he's one of those players, and he is actually opting for a little bit of the rock. He has a triple boom, but this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Because look, you're gonna have 3 survivors, and like literally all their kills are gonna have to be popped on that team when this tank commits. So the longer that he actually plays this and then gets a little more sight before like committing in the next maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, that is you know, every single thing that he can do to get their health in this position to be the lowest possible before he actually goes in. So essentially what he's going to do now is he's going to go to the top of the roof. He didn't bring his dumpster in, I don't think, but and he is going to be rolling it in. Okay, let's see what he does.
All right, charge drops down. No, just a stumble. Tank rolling it around 3,500 HP with an early smoke to get the corner. Down goes Dog. 2,400 left. Tries to decommit here. Oh my God, Hunter will land. Rock will not, but they'll be able to clear that. But that does give the Tank an opportunity to get away with his life. The pickup will easily come out. But I love this out of Chad, just making sure to make this Tank as annoying to deal with as possible. We've got more hits lined up, ready to go. Boomer, Jockey, 5 seconds left on Healy. But again, they're trying to get the chip onto Chad's Tank, but it's still got 2K, so...
Can I ask a burning question on my head, and I want MK
Yes.
to consider this too? Like, what was the Charger doing there?
Failing everything. He actually finally finds a target. He's a rolling 2-cap. Oh, he gets a double punch. And he gets another double punch. So much damage. And they melt all the bonus away. They just yield it to them. A huge misplay.
I'm actually going to rant here for a second, if you guys don't mind. And the reason that I'm going to rant is because this is another... I'm frustrated. The reason I'm frustrated is because Obscurite are in these positions. And then, like, obviously they're still alive and they're making it to the safe room, but there's such a thing known as stupid damage to me. And that's one of those things where when the tank is that low, they get double capped and they get multi-punched in the middle of an open field. And it's like, all right, you know, I personally, like I said, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, but I always kind of favor the team going for the upset in some ways. And it's like, they need to find a way to preserve the bonus on map 5 maybe a little bit better. It's been, you know, something that they're trying to work through. Obviously, they're probably going to come back and just say, all right, Rails, it's not going to matter because we're going to wipe them with RSI, which is, hey, that's an acceptable answer in the semifinals. The point is to win the game. But, like I said, in a situation like that, you never want to see a low-health tank getting that much damage.
I think something that's so effective as we see the hit kind of fall south. Rose going to have to take her time, of course, but it looks like they'll be able to get into the safe room. Something that happens when you have that low HP tank decommit is the survivors just start to get antsy. They're like, oh my God, the tank is so low. They don't know exactly what health it's at, but the players are thinking, we did a lot of damage to this tank. It probably doesn't have very much left. And they just get so desperate to try to finish it off that they often walk themselves into very unfavorable situations, which is why I like that decommit so much, rather than just spending the last 2,000 HP on maybe getting a smack. If you can hunt a survivor down, you can just, the decommit path has been, they like players like Chad are just so able to so fluidly just lock in that decommit path, even when it seems like a really awkward spot. He knows that he's got it, and he just immediately has this escape plan, and it was honestly beautiful to see.
All right, so we have 500 distance points for this chapter. So let's see. 1985, so they need 230 bonus to take the lead. Because there is no scenario where this doesn't go to chapter 5, I'd say, by this point.
Right.
This game is way too close. Even if Dynasty gets wiped at the tank, or if they take the lead by a couple, 300 or 400, there's no way we won't see that. So for now, let's keep it here. Hunter, Spitter, Jockey, Charger. Hunter coming around the corner. Doesn't find it. Oh, the Charger lands on his head, gets a fist. Unfortunate, he was just a little too accurate with that Charger. There's no damage bonus with the charge. And just 2% comes out.
I like the idea of the multiple hit paths, but with it being kind of such a long pathway to reach their targets, they were just kind of, you know, gunned down by Dynasty one in a row. Of course, the charge landing on the head didn't help, but we'll see the follow-up hit. No spit here. Jockey, again, just kind of stranded. 39 HP is dead. Smoke pulled. No. And, okay, Hunter comes in. He'll be able to find him for a couple ticks, actually. Smoke follow-up, and that'll actually get some damage as well, but really shouldn't have happened. Double boom as well, and I guess L'Obscurité will have to be happy with that.
Yeah, they're actually getting some boomer slaps there, so some more coming out there. They get out to the open area. Charger is the first one up in rotation. Waited for a few more seconds for Bully, Loud, and Dog. Spitter, Jockey, and Hunter. The question is, they get to spring this quickly. They have a good spot with this Charger. Looks like they're eager to go here. Spawns are coming. They're going to spring it. Hunter coming from the front. Charger rockets on. Oh, they melt the Hunter and the Charger beautifully. Some free spit. Oh, Healy gets stuck in the spit. And That's actually
On a
pretty
common
good damage.
lock, a little bit too easy. Pause comes out from the player who got hit by it, but looks like we're ready to go. As they approach the barn, and again, this is where all hell can break loose, number one, but this is also number two, where they can set up for that event hit at the pavilion if they play their cards right. So we'll see what L'Obscurité opts for, or maybe they can get a 2-for-1 deal and do both at the same time.
Either way, they just need to make sure this boomer dies last, or third. It's very important. They do not want this boomer. If he dies first, they're going to be very upset with him. Bully won't make a good play if he dies first here. Let's see what they could do for damage. Charger waiting to go. Healy's going to take front with shotgun, followed by MLA behind, or Blah. And now it's a bait game. Boomer, got to be careful. Smoker, Charger. Oh, they land it! One slam, Smoker covers, Boomer comes in, Smoker damage going out, and that was beautifully done by L'Obscurité, as they have a Hunter, Charger, Jockey, Spear to follow up with that massive amount of damage coming out there. What do you think of that, Naw?
That's just one of those hits that make you happy to be a Left 4 Dead 2 caster. I mean, that was like, it wasn't anything super crazy, but it was just like a pleasure to watch everybody, firing on all cylinders and making the damage happen there. We got a great follow-up as well, Charger, Hunter, Jockey, Spitter. And the question is, how aggressively do they want to hit? Hunter is behind, Jockey overhead, trying to get in there, gets laser down. Hunt Spit would be good. No, it's not going to be good. And it all gets mopped up. So, you give them one, you take one, give one. And, I mean, Dynasty's still, we could say relatively healthy here. They're definitely accomplishing enough of their goal that they hope to accomplish so far.
I don't know if you saw what happened there, Rails, but I think that was a massive misplay by L'Obscurité, just trying to return the favor that happened to them with the 2-2. Thought they had better spawns. They should have just yielded to the top of the kitty land, I thought. Spawns are so favorable there for the infected, and they don't even get this hit that they thought they would get really quickly. And now this is the second last tank of the game for L'Obscurité in the hands of Dog. But I didn't like that, Rails. I didn't like it at all.
No, what I saw there is, okay, they had that good hit that we mentioned, and I was thinking to myself, all right, there's the cohesion that we want to see, but then you said it best, I think. They tried to replicate that hit. That also was the strategy the other team used, you know what I mean? And now the survivors are actually going to keep pushing forward. They're going to be trying to turn off the event, and it's saying that there's going to be more horde, but I don't know if there actually is going to be. Maybe a little bit of wandering common, but this tank in the hands of Dog is crucial. In this game so far, this is probably the most crucial tank that we've seen. And he actually has gotten his hittable, too. The survivors are now going to be aware of that. Charger, Jockey, and Smoker for the hit. He's going to have to go in, but are they going to try to push? They're trying to push safe room on this.
It'll be a misplay.
Whoa.
If they get stuck in the railings, their tank can just jump over. The survivors can't jump over the railings.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is going to be down to the positioning and if the tank actually knows how to do that. So Charger, Jockey, Smoker for this is okay, and MK, this is what I was talking about. So he knows how to jump over part of the railings that way. There's the pull on to Nick. That's going to be the first punch going in, but he doesn't have the corner. The dumpster also isn't there. Jockey's going to land onto him, though. Can the survivors get the clear? Yes, they do. Tank is going for the follow-up rock. He does manage to land it, but this is not enough damage, in my opinion. He does get another punch onto Ellis, knocking him into a weird spot. Now getting a follow-up punch onto him, too. Healy getting knocked into this corner for the end cap, and the tank is still alive, so he's going to be able to jump around and bounce out. Let's see what happens now. Rock's going to go in, not going to land. And now the Hunter's going to land on top as the survivors are still doing this, but this is kind of what I alluded to, guys. Without that hittable being in a place to actually do even more work, even as that Jockey lands, this is going to, again, it's just been back and forth the entire time. And we have a really good semifinals match that seems to be coming down to, of all maps, the 5th map of Dark Carnival Remix. What a time to be playing Left 4 Dead 2 in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. But they have one more chance yet here, and it's not over yet. And look at the spawns they have. They get this pole charge. This game could be almost even going into the finale, but I think Babylonia has about a 200 delta now if nothing comes out on the final hit.
Okay, let's see this final hit. A lot of bonus still in hand. Will put Dynsty back in the lead, unless We got the Hunter DP. No, not going to be happening. They've let them so far. Charge, no way. Door is closed with the other three. They try to double team him, but he just locks it all down. A little bit of spit damage, but it's a little bit too easy there for Dynasty to finish it up. And I gotta say, Dog is kind of the one unknown for me out of all the 8 players currently playing. So I honestly, you got to hand it to him. A very good hittable control under pressure. Also, nice adaptation towards Dynasty's, kind of on the fly decision making there. But it kind of highlighted, I felt like, an important part where Dog was able to get a couple smacks, but he was not able to find any kind of decommit path. And he didn't have any opportunity to add longevity to his life after he got that early damage. Whereas we saw Chad like ready to decommit, was already moving towards that perfect path, playing around his teammates to get out of there. And I do think that it makes a difference when when you're able to get that kind of decommit. Obviously, you're not going to get it all the time, but Dog's still able to scrap some damage together. With it not being enough, it is going to be Dynasty up by about 220 after 4 chapters, head into the finale.
So I have to ask this kind of clarifying question, but is this still the finale that I remember?
It's only 1 tank though.
Okay, so
it's only
but
600 distance.
It still has the gas cans.
Yeah, 3 gas cans, and it has
Let's go.
1 tank. Well, it has 4 gas cans technically, because there's a second gas can in the end of the map. But right now, let's take this opening hit. Charger Jockey, Smoker, and Spitter, and the Infected got completely rushed there. They weren't even ready. Okay.
Nothing.
So now that they don't go there, this is going to allow them to get 2 of the cans for free. And this is a lot of map given. Look at, they're just yielding the chapter. Okay, here they go. Smoker's going to go. Charger from the back. Melted, and nothing coming out from L'Obscurite. Completely shut down from Dynasty. And they're going to be able to gather the cans without anything impeding their march here. And able to split up 2 and 2. No penalty for it.
Yeah, this is... it's like, all right, it comes down to map knowledge. Do you know how to kind of play scavenge? Do you know how to then balance out the gauntlet event? Like, there is going to be a lot of opportunities for Team L'Obscurite to do a lot of work, but like I said, this is a wild card of a chapter.
Of course, one important interaction is the fact that the spit can explode the canisters. I love Dynasty's safe route. We've seen time and time again canisters get completely wasted by trying to toss them up and over. So they, especially on this chapter, at that specific spot, in comes the 3rd canister, and the team is going to hit, almost tosses it over. Spit comes out, and he will be able to easily pick it up. Just a little bit of a bait, tossing on the ground, saying, hey, I know you want to spit this. And then he spits that instead of, potentially a capper. And now they are able to get all 3 canisters in, which can kind of be a mess for the survivors to deal with. But it's been made very easy with some conservative play by Dynasty. And away they go with 96.3% of the bonus still in hand.
All right, they drop off left out to the open field. One thing to note, this tank is on the other side of the bus, so they have to fight this in the stadium, which will give Tank view over top of almost everywhere he can move to get view. Survivor's going to have to be good. Oh, this Jockey is clutch. It's cleared up pretty quickly, though. The Hunter, for some reason, leaves the boom guy that he could have had to go pounce the Green Survivor for 1 damage. Gets cleaned up. I mean, they're getting hits in, but it's not much damage. The average per hit is like less than 2% right now. No, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, this has been kind of an issue with L'Obscurite's hits. Sometimes they're just not really synced up. That wasn't an easy hit to really sync up for damage, sure, but some of the split-second decision-making is lacking from time to time. Spit comes out first. Hunter does eventually connect, but they'll be able to mop that up quite easily. Of course, a rookie was one of those. I imagine the Spit just wanted to get it out there. And we still got a Jockey Charger as a rookie spawns in. And I think L'Obscurite's got to be pretty happy to see that a rookie name next to their Chapter 5 tank.
They are. I mean, I was thinking the same thing. They have to have another tank that replicates close to what happened on map 1. The reason I say close is that if he gets a kill, to me that alone would present an opportunity to win the game. You can try to go for a wipe, you can try to go for a frag movie 3 cap, doesn't really matter. But the whole point is, whatever way they want to do it, they have to stop the survivors. And I don't want to see. Oh, well, this is the way to do it because there's this separation charge going in, managing to land. The jockey is also bouncing around. Man, that was a real misplay on the survivor side there because Healy, you know, I really, really respect Healy as the player that he is and that kind of stuff. But when he did that last map and did the 3-on-1, it's like, okay, cool, you do that once. Kind of reminds me of Dusty. Okay, that's pretty good. But then if you do that again and then you get charged like that, it's like, all right. So that's a big gift for a rookie. But the problem is, MK, he is on second pass and he is still trying to get that dumpster.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like the dumpster try. It's the stadium, and it's a bigger stadium than the vanilla one, so it's really, really hard. They have a boomer. They're going to really rely on this boomer to land. He has to land multiple booms on his commit here. Aruki throwing everything on this dumpster, and it's not even in a really good spot. It's kind of out of play now. All the marbles are in the bag for this, and he's going to make his play for it anyways. The boomer slides off. He lands on one, but got lucky. Here it comes, Jockey. Oh, he finds a target. Oh, this is big. They're not able to clear it. I don't know if they can get the dumpster up there. Oh, he's not able to.
Dude.
Oh, I don't know what's going on
almost
here.
landed. Okay, so they have a huge separation. He can play off this. This is crazy. It really, really is. And he's going to have another set of spawns in a second. He just can't let him get the pickup. He's doing a good job of juking them around here, throwing a rock around the corner too, waiting again. He actually has the position of power here, in my opinion, because he's going to have a full set of spawns. Rock is going to go around the corner now, too. Charger is going in. He's not going for... He's got the Hunter in, and then that's going to be the punch onto Ellis. The Hunter's going for the kill. Great play by the SI, and look at this again. Who is it? As Ellis gets downed, and Nick is dead. All right, Nine-Null, I respected your opinion earlier, but I'm going to say it right now. There's one MVP in this game, and we're watching him play tank. Turn around.
Dude,
Wow.
It's not done yet, but it might as well be. Aruki, not just beautiful. Obviously, you know, when the hittable hits the target, it's like you can clearly say, oh yeah, that's good hittable control. But Aruki had one of those moments where he was just constantly putting this dumpster into very perilous positions for the survivors. The key of that was when they got that player back up in the corner and he dropped that dumpster right where the survivors were trying to take the stairwell up. It put them in such an awkward position and it broke them up and it led to this double kill situation. Now, since that happened, Dynsty has been able to press a couple buttons. They're up to 130 distance that they have been able to rack up, but sooner or later, they will be caught. They will be found by the squad. Hunter lands, but it's going to get cleared before the Charger can find a spawn. Okay, we got the Jockey Charger attempt now. Charge goes for one. Jockey can't quite find it. And again, they survive. They go on surviving. It's not clean, but it'll continue getting them distance.
Yeah, Nine-Null's making a good point because, again, when you're trying to make a comeback, you never want to have the other team having any extra than what they already do when it comes to distance points, bonus, or any opportunities, right? And this is something where, yeah, because of how this finale works, and for those watching, I'm not sure if they are as familiar with it as other maps, because I'm not sure how often the finale's played outside of, you know, deep in the playoffs or something like that. But it's a gauntlet finale that happens in stages. MK mentioned that there's only one tank. So they're getting a little bit more points here, but it's going to come down to how the survivors fight the tank on the next half, because they can't have that happen. Obviously, it's kind of, I would say, kind of almost one of the easier tanks. The thing that made what L'Obscurité did so good is that their coordination and that separation allowed the tank to play off that with the hittable. But
right.
It's really, really interesting to see how close this is going to be. As we do have the jockey landing, Hunter's going into, what a skeet by Nia, and that's going to be the wipe. They'll come after MLA, I should say. You know, so all right, 2,607 points. That is all Dynasty / Babylonia are going to get, and it's a less than 400-point game. Gentlemen, can they do it?
Oh, man. That is...
based on what we've seen recently, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, what do you think, MK? Like, how does that... I gotta say, I mean, that tank kind of... We usually don't see that much headway being made on tank ever on that finale spot.
Now, that jockey was a hero for the... I don't know who the jockey was that grabbed Spooky, but that person was a hero for their team, set that all up. The tank and the infected just capitalized off the opportunity that was given to them by the jockey. It was well done, led to 2 kills. But also, do take note, though, Babylonia got an extra 80 points with just 2 survivors. That is pretty impressive. We'll see if it's enough. because we still have a long way to go for Lobscurity to get this W. And by the way, this is a semi-bracket. Not quite. Charger stumble. Interesting. They go in for the spit, and I mean, they get 4%, and the Charger and Spitter are still alive. Interesting.
Did you say this is a semi, like a winner's bracket, loser's bracket semi, or is it more?
Winner bracket.
Winner bracket.
Winner bracket semi?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so the winner of this is going right to the grand finals. That's going to be so wild to see.
Or winner bracket finals, not grand final, but the winner bracket finals, yes.
Oh, this is the winner bracket finals. Oh, okay, yeah,
this is semi-bracket, winner bracket finals.
Oh, okay, semifinals of the winner bracket. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay, so this goes to the winner's bracket finals. Got it.
There's Hokori playing against, oh, I forget, who is it now? I drawing a blanket. Yeah, South Stars.
Oh, South Stars. Oh, yeah, all
right.
right. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so the road for L'Obscurité, if they can actually pull off this upset, then goes through 2 other extremely tough teams, one of the other 2 teams, or this team again, depending on how that goes. And to me, that's kind of awesome because now on Survivor side here, it's like, okay, guys, you have a chance to put yourself in a position to actually win this tournament. What are you going to do when it comes to minimizing damage on any kind of hit in situations like this? So it's a jockey, boomer, smoker, and a hunter. Obviously, it's kind of scavenge. That's going to be the smoker going in, hunter going in as well, managing to land. And yeah, the boomer's going to go in last too, so that's going to be pretty much it.
And he's just going to sit there. They're not going to kill him.
Fair play, in my opinion, by the way.
The boomer should just stand there, actually.
The whole point is, right, it's like, okay, normally you'd want to be killing the support SI, but the support SI is intentionally doing that to try to get the cans to fly.
Got a can.
He keeps waiting, he finds one, and then
Oh my god! Yo! Alright, pause. Chat.
Oh, the Charger! The Charger!
That was what I would call... That is what I would call, even though they took a bunch of damage after that, right, or at least a little bit of damage, that's a 500 IQ boomer pop. Because they waited to pop the boomer until the spitter spat, and that made the cans dot. That was a great call.
It's rare you see that come into play that way. It's also risky, because if it decides to send those gas cans into another zip code, it could be challenging to burn the can if it's out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen. I don't know what the call would be to play during a match if you can't burn the can, but it is a possibility of happening with a 2-2 coming in here. Boomer goes quickly. Hunter and Jockey waiting to spring their trap, and the survivors yield back and just play it patiently.
This is an interesting spot that we see to hit. They do have the 2-2, so not really the most desirable. The question is, would they even get another hit up at this point? Hunt Spit's going to be good. Jockey, he grabs one, trying to reset as well. No, I don't think there's reset potential
Rochelle?
there.
Okay. Just ran through the spit for like 20 damage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, obviously, L'Obscurité, they got to avoid free damage like that, but, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. I love the way that Dynasty is catching them off guard and making them walk themselves into situations they obviously don't feel comfortable in. Charge comes out into the spit, not going to be able to combine that.
There's danger here. Okay, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but there is a massive amount of commons coming from the back of the map right now. At least about 18.
So we saw what was posted. We saw what was posted in chat already about Spooky, and that person was posting something that gets posted in Spanish on multiple threads about when somebody on a team does something like that. And obviously now Spooky gets to play the tank as well. So there's a little bit of redemption at play potentially, but this tank is going to decide who wins or loses this game. You know, I almost wish we had worms. We don't, but it's one of those things where it's like, all right, that damage Pounso onto a rookie. 24 DP on that. I think he was trying to keep an eye on the tank, but now he's separated in the same way that Healy was. Guys, they really got to go back to in my opinion, they got to go to the basics here. LOS the tank.
Yeah, I would love to see just a return to the basics, exactly what you're saying. I mean, don't try to play out of your range at this point. We see a rookie has been playing perfectly. You know, everyone is human. Everyone's going to make a mistake at some point in a match, and that is going to be a 24 life point mistake on the SMG player trying to get that ski at the same time. In comes a quick smoke. Charge is ripping away here. With the Hunter target as well. With the rock coming out. And yeah, we continue to wait. We continue to chill. But one thing is true: Spooky goes second pass here.
Yeah, now he's got to get ready for his. If he tries to play rock here, it's extremely dangerous. The survivors are
he
being
actually
risky.
playing
This
rock?
Boomer is up. This is very risky if they don't come out here. Boomer doesn't make a
Oh,
play on it.
man.
Boomer misses it.
And he doesn't have a hittable, so he's just here. Okay, well, Spooky's gonna be going in. There's the boom, though, that they were looking for. The tank is gonna be in before the Commodore, though. There's the first punch. This is gonna be for it all. There's gonna be more damage going out as the tank gets his first in cap, and we also have that smoker pull, but there's the clear onto Rochelle. We still have 2 survivors who are up. Tank has 2,500 HP, and he's gonna fall off the ladder for a hot second there. They need to get a pickup, and they need to not get double capped. That is what they have to do right now. They're going to be going for Ellis. Where's the jockey? It's to the right of them. So that means that it's going to land. The tank is still alive as he's going to be throwing a rock around this corner, landing on a rookie as well. Not like this from Skirate, please. Okay, the tank is going to be getting out again. Now dropping down. Hunter going in. Magic to land. The Charger's going to whiff. The rock's not going to land either. A rookie doing his best to try to stay alive as Bully now is going to almost get in cap. That's going to be Ellis also really close to dying, and unfortunately, guys, I do believe that the upset path for Team Obscurite is almost closing here, and the reason for that is because they have those 4 pills over there, but Ellis is going to be dead. A rookie is going to decide to go for the pickup here. I don't think they can even skeet the rock on him, but somehow he still has enough health to get the pickup. But guys, it was that double boom after they moved out. If they had stayed in that room, they could have even AI'd him and the boomer. But that's just how it goes sometimes.
Absolutely. This is a disaster for L'Obscurité. We've got a rookie on 1 HP. Still got 900 HP to take down from Spooky as he just keeps chilling. 700, 600, 500 into the charge. Oh my god. This could be so devastating here with the Hunter as well. What down goes 2 just like that with the Hunter. A goes 4. He spawns in. Ready to go with the rock as well. Will they be able to finish him off, though? It's not quite done yet. Bully is still alive. They get the 2 boom, and that might just be the end, folks. We got the Hunter hopping around, still biding his time for sure. But with the rock, it will be done. It will be Dynasty, a.k.a. Babylonia, winning the match by just under 300 points.
Wow.
What a finale that was. I feel like you said, 4 sets of pills still up there on stage, but they had no time to rock out because they were getting rocked out, essentially.
Yes, that will be Dynasty getting the victory over L'Obscurité. 2607, 2309. And what a slobber knocker of a match, guys. That was amazing.